Fastest man in the world is no doubt Usain Bolt, but how fast could Usain Bolt run around the bases? This question is impossible to answer for sure, but we are going to use math to see if we can estimate what it would be. First, let's see what he has to go up against. The fastest time last year in the majors was by Kevin Kiermaier, and he did it in 14.29 seconds. That, however, is far from the fastest among current MLB players. We all know the fastest guy in the league is Billy Hamilton, so what is his time? He recorded an unbelievable 13.8 seconds in 2012 to get around the bases, and close by is the stud second baseman for the Marlins in D. Gordon. Although impressive, these times really don't give us an idea how fast Bolt could do it. And the fact that neither of these guys have ever been tracked doing the 100-meter time other than in college, where Hamilton said that he ran it in 11.29 seconds. This time is fast, but not that impressive, and judging by the interview, it sounded like he was not really trying in the race, according to the reporter. Hamilton did say, however, that in the minors, he was timed running the bases at 13.1 seconds, which is unbelievable, but not yet confirmed. That 13.1 time, if it was actually recorded in an MLB game, would actually be the new world record. But the world record is held by a guy named Ever Swampson. And if you guys are like me, you're wondering, who even is that? Well, let me tell you. Well, in 1929, he was recorded running the bases in an unbelievable time of 13.3 seconds, giving him the Guinness World Record that still stands today. A study that looked at player speeds and optimal paths found that the optimal path being taken around the bases would take the average player in the game about 16.5 seconds. So I would say I have pretty average speed. So I went to the park by my house and ran, and I was able to do it in about 15.4 seconds. Mind you, I measured the distances with my feet and had a hand time, so I realistically was probably right around the average, I would assume. Now, finally, let's discuss Usain Bolt and his time. By using his split times in his race, where he ran 9.68 seconds in the 100-meter, and using the optimal distance that was found around the bases of 121.6 meters, we can use this to figure out roughly how fast he could do it. The first 30 meters, which will be the distance from home to first, I found that he will have his slowest time, being 3.6 seconds. This time being so slow is most likely because Usain Bolt is not always the fastest out of the blocks. You can see in a lot of his races, he actually sometimes starts out near the back of the pack. On his way to second, however, he will have gained momentum and pick up even more speed, and using his second 30-meter time in the race, being 30 meters to 60 meters, I can assume he will get to second in just 2.56 seconds, meaning the first half to second only takes him approximately 6.16 seconds. Now, let's finish the bases. On the way to the third, I use his split times to determine it would take him just 2.5 seconds, and this is when he is at top speed and has gained the momentum. Lastly, on the way home, I don't have splits, but taking an average of his top speeds, I get a time of 2.58 seconds, that being a 120-meter total of 11.24 seconds. And when we add the 1.6 meters, I am able to estimate a time of around 11.4 seconds. Accounting for the shell and the fact it is not ideal conditions and wearing a baseball uniform, I would say we could add another 0.6 seconds. This means that after all my conclusions, I believe that Usain Bolt could get around the bases in just 12 seconds, making him 1.3 seconds faster than the fastest time ever. Now, you are probably wondering, how on earth did I get these times? Now, I'm going to show you exactly all my calculations and how I kind of figure this out. So I went into his split times. His first 30 meters, his first 10 was 0.90 seconds, 1.0, 1.70. I added all of those up to figure out how long in like a 100-meter sprint it would take him to get the first 30 meters. That is where I got the 3.6 seconds that we use to kind of give an estimate of home plate to first, because it's the same kind of thing, because you have to get that quick start to figure out around second. And because we are using an optimal speed path around the bases, which is why it's 121.6 meters, I take the 0.87, the 0.85, and the 0.84 times to get a time of 2.56 from the time it takes him to get to first and to second, much faster than the time it takes him to get to home to first, just like the average major league player, who's much faster from first to second. Now I went to the split times. His last kind of portion of the race, he had 0.82 seconds, 0.83, and 0.85 in his 10-meter splits. That's a total of 2.5 seconds. That is the time I gave him to get to third. And then the same thing on the way home. I did not have his splits for 110 and 120 meters, but I took his average considering he's at top speed. But he does kind of, in that race, he slowed down. That, I'm pretty sure, is the race where he kind of celebrated near the end. So I used that time to get the 2.58 seconds. So the total total distance would need to cover is 121.6. His 120 meter time, 3.6 seconds, plus 2.56, plus 2.5, plus 2.58. That equals 11.24 seconds. Now, why I did those extra kind of math calculations, when you look at like having the running spikes, stuff like that, you got to account for having baseball cleats on, shale, just like wind, stuff like that. Also having a baseball uniform, not the shorts, is the reason why I decided to make it around 12 seconds. So after all of this research, I have found about 12 seconds. And now I'm going to show a clip of when I did it with him, actually on MLB 16, and I'm going to time how long it took me to hit that inside the park home run. That should tie him up with Kevin Hart right there. If that gets all the way, that should be standing up. If that's not standing up, I don't know what is. Look at how fast he is. I wonder if he actually played baseball, how easy it would be for him to steal. Like, it probably would be. Okay, so the time I found with Usain Bolt just on the old video was about 13.06, which is obviously not accurate. That's just a 99 speed player. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I tried something different here. If you did, make sure to drop a like. That will show me that if you want to see more videos like this, leave your ideas for other things, and let me know how fast you guys think you could do it. I tried using some fancy math and whatever. I don't know. It could have been a total flop. But I think it's probably close to around 12 seconds. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like for another one. Smash that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.